New Year, everybody. It's Evan from DMV Sports Zone giving you another update on all things DMV sports. We're going to start with hockey and the Washington Capitals. So the Capitals closed out 2022 on a stellar note, a 9-2 win over the Canadiens on New Year's Eve, thanks to an Alex Ovechkin hat trick, and he now sits at 806 goals for his career. The win also puts the Caps at 21-13-5, 47 points. They are the 3 seed in the Metropolitan Division right now. So if the season ended today, they would play New Jersey in the first round of the playoffs. Here's the week ahead for Washington. For the Capitals, the week and the calendar year begin on Tuesday when they welcome in the Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres come in at 18-15-2, 38 points. They're 5th in the Atlantic, but if the season ended today, they would miss the playoffs. Buffalo's coming off a 3-1 loss in Ottawa on New Year's Day. They allowed a goal in each period against the Senators. This is the first of 3 between the Caps and the Sabres. Last season, Washington swept the season series against Buffalo. On Thursday, the Capitals head to Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets are currently 11-22-2, 24 points, last place in the Metropolitan Division. So, needless to say, if the season ended today, they would miss the playoffs. Columbus is coming off a 4-1 win over the Blackhawks on New Year's Eve, however. They scored 4 unanswered goals to win after falling behind 1-0. This is the first of 4 between the Caps and the Jackets. Last season, Washington won 3 out of 4 against Columbus. After this, quick turnaround for the Capitals, as on Friday they return home to host the Nashville Predators. The Predators are currently 15-14-6, 36 points, 6th place in the Central Division, so if the season ended today, the Predators would miss the playoffs. Nashville is coming off a 5-4 overtime loss in Vegas on New Year's Eve, but they have gotten a point in 2 straight. This is the last of 2 between the Caps and the Preds. Washington leads the season series 1-0 after beating Nashville 3-0 in Nashville on October 29th. And for the Capitals, the week concludes on Sunday when they host the Columbus Blue Jackets. The same information I just said is also applicable here, with the only difference being this would be the second of 4 between the Caps and the Jackets. Now we switch over to basketball and the Washington Wizards. So the Wizards kicked off 2023 on a little bit of a hot streak, a 118-95 win in Milwaukee on New Year's Day. The Wizards have now won 5 in a row, the last 3 of which by double digits. The win in Milwaukee improves the Wizards to 17-21. They currently sit at the 10 seed in the Eastern Conference, so if the season ended today, they would play Atlanta in the play-in tournament. So here's the week ahead for Washington. For the Wizards, the week begins on Tuesday when they remain in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks in a rematch. The Bucks come in at 23-13, the 3 seed in the East. If the season ended today, they would make the playoffs and play Indiana in the first round. Milwaukee's coming off that 118-95 loss against the Wizards on Sunday, thanks to 26 points by Washington's own Rui Hachimura. This is the second of 4 between the Wizards and the Bucks. Washington obviously leads the season series 1-0. And for the Wizards, the week concludes on Friday when they head to Oklahoma City to take on the Thunder. The Thunder are currently 15-21, 12th in the Western Conference, so if the season ended today, they would miss the playoffs and the play-in tournament. Oklahoma City's coming off a 115-96 loss against the 76ers on New Year's Eve. They've lost 2 in a row. This is the last of 2 between the Wiz and OKC. Oklahoma leads the season series 1-0. Oklahoma City leads the season series 1-0 after beating Washington 121-120 at the buzzer in D.C. on November 16th. Now we move over to college basketball and the 11th ranked Virginia Cavaliers. So Virginia wrapped up 2022 on a high note, a 74-56 win at Georgia Tech on New Year's Eve. The win improves the Cavaliers to 10-2, 2-1 in the ACC. They've won 2 in a row and sit at 5th place in the conference standings. And as of the latest bracketology, Virginia is a 4 seed. Here's the week ahead for the Wahoos. For Virginia, the week begins on Tuesday when they head to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Panthers. Pitt is currently 10-4, 3-0 in the ACC, 3rd place in the conference standings. If the season ended today in the latest bracketology, Pitt is not in the field. The Panthers, though, are coming off a 76-74 win over number 25 North Carolina on Friday, and they've won 4 in a row. This is the only meeting this season between Virginia and Pitt. And for Virginia, the week concludes on Saturday when they return home to host the Syracuse Orange. Syracuse is currently 9-5, 2-1 in the ACC, 7th place in the conference standings, and as of the latest bracketology, Syracuse is not in the field. The Orange, though, are coming off a 79-65 win over Boston College on New Year's Eve, thanks to 24 points by Joseph Girard. This is the first of 2 between Virginia and Syracuse. And now let's talk about the Maryland Terrapins. So for Maryland, 2023 began on a humbling note. An 81-46 loss at Michigan on New Year's Day, in a game which the Terps shot 5 of 25 from beyond the arc. The loss drops the Terrapins to 10-4, 1-2 in the Big Ten, 10th place in the conference standing. But as of the latest bracketology, Maryland is still in the field as a 6th seed. So here's the week ahead for the Terps. For Maryland, the week begins on Thursday when they head to Piscataway to take on the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Rutgers is currently 9-4, 1-1 in the Big Ten, 7th place in the conference standings. As of the latest bracketology, Rutgers is in the last 4 in. The Scarlet Knights are coming off a 90-57 win over Coppin State on Friday, and they've won 3 in a row. This is the only meeting this season between Maryland and Rutgers. And for Maryland, the week concludes on Sunday when they return home to host the 24th-ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State is currently 10-3, 2-0 in the Big Ten, 3rd place in the conference standings. As of the latest bracketology, Ohio State is a 6th seed. The Buckeyes are coming off a 73-57 win at Northwestern on New Year's Day, and they've won 3 in a row. This is the first of 2 between Maryland and Ohio State. Up next, let's talk about the Virginia Tech Hokies. So Virginia Tech didn't end 2022 on the best note. A 77-75 loss at Wake Forest on New Year's Eve. The loss drops the Hokies to 11-3, 1-2 in the ACC. They've lost 2 in a row and sit at 10th place in the conference standings. But as of the latest bracketology, Virginia Tech is still in the field as a 7 seed. So here's the week ahead for the Hokies. For Virginia Tech, the week begins on Wednesday when they return home to host the Clemson Tigers. Clemson comes in at 11-3, 3-0 in the ACC, 2nd place in the conference standings behind only Miami. But as of the latest bracketology, Clemson is not in the field. The Tigers, though, are coming off a 78-64 win over NC State on Friday. They've won 3 in a row. This is the first of 2 between Virginia Tech and Clemson. And for Virginia Tech, the week concludes on Saturday when they host the NC State Wolfpack. NC State is currently 11-4, 1-3 in the ACC, 12th place in the conference standings. As of the latest bracketology, NC State is in the first 4 out. The Wolfpack are coming off that 78-64 loss at Clemson, despite 21 points by Terquavion Smith. This is the only meeting this season between Virginia Tech and NC State. And we wrap up this update with the Georgetown Hoyas. So for Georgetown, it's looking like a new year, but more of the same. An 80-51 loss to Butler is how they rang in the new year on New Year's Day. The loss drops the Hoyas to 5-10, 0-4 in the Big East. They've lost 5 in a row and sit at last place in the conference standings. Obviously, as of the latest bracketology, Georgetown is not in the field. So here's the week ahead for G-Town. For Georgetown, the week begins on Wednesday when they return home to host the Villanova Wildcats. Villanova comes in at 7-7, 1-2 in the Big East, 6th place in the conference standings. As of the latest bracketology, Villanova is not in the field. The Wildcats are coming off a 68-66 loss against Marquette on Saturday. They've lost 2 in a row. This is the first of 2 between Georgetown and Villanova. And for Georgetown, the week concludes on Saturday when they head to Milwaukee to take on the Marquette Golden Eagles. Marquette is currently 11-4, 3-1 in the Big East, 4th place in the conference standings. And as of the latest bracketology, Marquette is in as an 8 seed. The Golden Eagles are coming off that 68-66 win at Villanova on New Year's Eve, and they've won 2 in a row. This is the first of 2 between Georgetown and Marquette. Well, that's it for this update, but stay tuned for plenty of great content from Noah, Nadia, and Abdullah as they cover our Commanders and their disappointing season finale this week against the Dallas Cowboys. Well, it was a so-and-so run, but it's almost done. Until next time, I'm Evan from DMV Sports Zone signing off.